Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And how are we all today? Well, as you can see, today is yet another lovely day. The weather has been absolutely glorious. We were expecting rain at some point, but that hasn't seemed to have transpired at the moment. Although I know in the UK they're forecasting bad weather over the Easter weekend. But at the moment here in Greece, it is just absolutely glorious. I took some pictures early this morning, which I'll probably put up a bit later on, of looking over the hills where we had a really strange mist that came down, like cloud very low, and you could still see the moon. But as the morning has gone on, the moon has now gone off to bed and we can't see it. But anyway, that's this morning, looking across towards Amber Lockerbie and also towards Kerry. Yeah, the old cockerel's making his noise as always. And yeah, it looks like it's a glorious day. Anyway, let's have a quick look around the other side of the house. At the moment, everybody's busy cleaning today. I think we've got a new cleaner upstairs at the moment. So if you see sprinkles of water coming down or hear some funny noises, it's a cleaner upstairs in the doctor's house. But anyway, that's the view from the back of the house. Absolutely glorious, beautiful sunshine. Oh, and just to let you know, I had to go to Sylvie yesterday to get some money from the cash point. And I saw Dennis yesterday, and just to let you know that Magdalena's is continuing its special offer, 10% discount on accommodation at Magdalena's, and that special offer is going to continue until the end of April now, and hopefully we we will be open maybe in May, all right, at least for the Dutch if they come. And any other nationality. The Brits, we're still waiting to see what confirmation is for the season for them. But if you want to book accommodation at Magdalena's studios, then please just get in touch with Dennis via the Magdalena's Facebook page and make your bookings. 10% discount on there, all right? So anyway, that's the weather today. Looking absolutely glorious. We've got our lovely doctor there, just off to work. Good morning. So anyway, let's crack on and give you the news and stats for the day and see how things are going. So anyway, let's just switch around. Hang on a tick. Oh, it's not turned. Ah, now it's turned round. There we go. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at the weather forecast for today. I'm a bit worried about all the water that's coming down from the balcony upstairs. I'm going to move my laptop just a little bit closer. Right. So then, it's the 2nd of April. My God. And it is now day 148, I think, at the moment, out of our lockdown. So... and also to everybody in the UK, happy Good Friday, getting ready for the Easter weekend there. Our Easter is a while away, and I'll be doing a little story about that a little bit later on in my broadcast. But anyway, let's look at the COVID stats then for the last 24 hours. Things are slightly changing at the moment after record amount of infections. At the moment, infection rate now is down slightly as 3,491 new infections recorded yesterday across Greece, bringing the grand total so far since the pandemic started up to 267,172, of which 51% of those are male. Anyway, according to the national stats yesterday, there were 10 new cases identified at ports of entry into the country, which was down on the day before where we reported there was 20. But at the moment, Kefalonia has had 2 new cases. Lefkada still for about the 3rd day now has not had any cases reported at all. There's been 7 new cases reported in Corfu. Zakynthos yesterday had 13 new cases recorded on the national statistics. However, locally, as of the 1st of April yesterday, those statistics don't configure with what's going on the ground. We've actually had 18 confirmed cases here on Zakynthos. 5 were identified by health checks by the mobile health with rapid testing. 3 of them were from the hospital where molecular testing had been done, and another 10 cases were also picked up by private clinics here on the island doing rapid tests. So at the moment, our local numbers are actually higher than our national statistic numbers at the moment, which is not boding well for us at the moment. Once again, just to remind you that Zakynthos, we are still in an area of deep concern at the moment, along with about 8 other regions across the country. And the case rate for Zakynthos at the moment stands at 56.43 cases per 100,000 if they adjust the figures to fit that standard that's been set by the Greek government and by the EU as well. So at the moment then, we've started April with 18 cases for the month already confirmed here on Zakynthos, bringing the grand total of infections since the beginning of the year to 302 positive cases here on the island. Anyway, looking at the death rate at the moment across the country, the death rate does seem to be down at the moment. There was 76 cases reported yesterday, and today it is 67 new deaths across Greece. And once again, our condolences to families that are affected, bringing the total amount of deaths we've had since the pandemic started to 8,160. The average age of those people passing away, 79 years of age, and 96% of those people had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. So there again, it's again not looking good there as well. Anyway, so at the moment we've had no deaths this month, thank God for us. As for critical cases at the moment across the country, critical cases again are up now as well. Yesterday I reported to you 739. Well, today we've had 755 critical cases in ICUs across the country. That's 487 male, 268 female. The average age of people in critical condition at the moment is 68 years. Of people in critical condition at the moment is 68 years of age, and 86% of those have underlying health conditions or over the age of 70. Right then, the regional news then for us today then, the Deputy Regional Minister of Civil Protection, Nikos Militos, who did an interview yesterday with Hermes Radio here on Zakynthos about the details about a meeting that took place at regional level in relation to Zakynthos. Anyway, and for measures for the prevention of the spread of the coronavirus on the island. Now, making a special reference to the fact that Zakynthos is at the top of the list of confirmed cases, Mr. Milinos referred to the request that the Port Authority of Kyllini are to intensify controls at the port, where basically people come into Zakynthos and also go to Kefalonia. Basically, they're asking for more stringent testing to be done in that location before obviously people get onto the ferries. Anyway, Mr. Milinos said that Zakynthos is of great concern to them at regional level, and this is the 3rd time that Zakynthos has entered the deep red state as well. Now, we respect that society that limits itself and has limits its activities, but we realize that this is a life and death danger. So basically what he's saying, he says he understands that everybody's doing what they can and that the island is an island, and so therefore there could be more done to prevent the virus coming via coaches and transport and hauliers bringing goods and stuff to the island, etc., and that more tests should be done as people arrive on the island. Anyway, he says there can be no exceptions to this effort. Zakynthos, for the 3rd time, is in deep red. The epidemiology burden, especially in Zakynthos, remains high, and we've asked to answer why such things can happen. Mr. Milinos spoke about the many different factors, one of which is travel from the mainland Greece to the island. We receive assurances for increased inspections from the Minister of Civil Protection, and what was requested from the Deputy Regional Governor of Kefalonia and Ithaca, Stavros Travlos, is to have a specific circular that defines inspections at sea. He said nothing nothing has been confirmed as to travel, and that something needs to be done to be controlled. So basically, it sounds a bit like Monty Python here. We've got this. If you remember in Monty Python, when something happens, they immediately form a committee and they start making minutes on a meeting. It's the same thing here at the moment. Oh, we're going to have a meeting to have a meeting, and we're going to get this. I think I'd rather speak directly to the people concerned over in Kyllini. Say to them, listen, we need more checks on the ferries for people coming over. Lorry drivers, the same as what's happening in the UK, need to be pulled over somewhere. They need to be given a check before they drive their loads onto the ferry and then bring their goods across. So basically, a bit more of an exertion of control rather than this requesting a meeting for a meeting, to have a meeting about things that we could implement to make life safer on the island. So basically, I think what we're going to do with that story is we're just going to keep an eye on it, see what happens. I know a lot of people have said to me privately that, you know what, Ginge, we are an island. There's no excuse for us getting virus coming on. We should be able to control things better at the port, and we do need to see more testing being done, or even if it's random testing at the ports, more testing needs to be done on the ferry coming over from Kyllini. And also as well, got to remember, people shouldn't be travelling anyway unless it's for exceptional circumstances. I'm talking about private people making journeys for health treatment, etc. And obviously food supplies, fuel, that is still all being shipped in via trucks, and you would expect that the drivers of those are being checked to make sure that they're not bringing anything with them inadvertently and not realising that they might be bringing more virus to the island. However, today the process of notifying teachers for the COVID vaccination was finally activated through the vaccination coordination team. Anyway, another circular from the Ministry of Education, which set out on how to unify the final list of primary, secondary education teachers, public and private schools, and members of the special education and special support staff. Who are being earmarked for the vaccination. Now, the list should have been completed yesterday, and it's based basically on date of birth in descending order of age. So obviously, the older you are, the quicker you get vaccinated. And then again, for people who have the same age, it's basically going on alphabetical order. But the Education Ministry decided for a 2-day extension for the collection of the applications for education staff to have the injection. But in the meantime, a decision about when to reopen schools has also been pushed back by at least a week, despite the government's willingness to restart face-to-face learning. That's supposed to have started on the 5th of April, or is supposed to start on the 5th of April, as the high number of infections and incubations in Greece obviously have strained the hospitals to their limits. A team of experts advising the government on the pandemic recommended against any reopenings during its emergency meeting on Wednesday, adding, however, that any change to this decision will only concern graduating high schoolers. So they're basically wanting the graduating high schoolers to go back to school. They've obviously got exams coming up, etc., and they obviously want to be there ready for the exams. So therefore, the most optimistic scenario at the moment is that the schools will reopen round about April the 12th. And again, we'll keep our ear close to the ground on that. Most of the schools would be closed now because basically they haven't returned since the last closure because of the situation with the extended lockdown that we've gone into. Anyway, also as well, all people aged over 60 and those with serious underlying health problems will have received at least the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine by May, according to the Prime Minister yesterday, Mr. Mitsotakis. says. Now, he said during a visit to a special inoculation centre that's been set up in northern Athens, he said, if things go well, we will conduct 1.5 million vaccinations in April alone, which is a little less than what we have done in the last 3 months. From January to March, we are sure that by the beginning of May, we'll have vaccinated all our fellow citizens over 60 years of age and all our fellow citizens with severe underlying diseases with at least one dose. Health authorities so far completed about 1.7 million vaccinations, said the Prime Minister, who hailed the professionalism of the healthcare employees working tirelessly to vaccinate people. It's important, he stressed, that Greece receives a large batch of vaccines next month. Now, once again, just remind you that vaccinations have been slowed down here in Greece because basically the EU didn't get its act together. Certain orders that we had placed had been, shall we say, stopped by the EU, basically wanting to take control of vaccinations and basically creating an absolute mess at the moment. So again, Greece has been playing the game by the EU, and the reason for this is because there's more bailout money to come from the EU, and I think Mr. Takis is not going to start ruffling feathers at higher levels because he wants his bailout money, plus he wants the vaccine, so he's basically playing the patient game, and plus he's pushing his passport as well, his vaccination passport, and basically we're going to wait and see if this happens. Interestingly as well, today the platform opens for vaccinations appointments for people aged between 64 and 69. If you're in that age group at the moment, you might get yourself an SMX message if you've got a registered pharmacy that you're with and you're getting a pharmaceutical prescription. However, if you don't, then your best move is to either go to the KEP office or go to your local pharmacy and book an appointment there. I would actually recommend you go to your pharmacy. That would probably be the easiest and most direct way to book your appointment. As to when you're going to get the vaccine, again, it's let's wait and see. And again, as soon as we get more information on when the vaccines are likely to start for that age group, we will let you know, okay? Also, interestingly as well, a Spanish student who hosted a large party in Thessaloniki on Wednesday has been handed a suspended sentence and a hefty fine for breaking the lockdown restrictions. Now, the 21-year-old, she was an exchange student, claims she was unaware of Greece's lockdown rules after basically throwing a large party for her fellow students and guests at her home. Anyway, I can't believe that this 21-year-old was not aware that there were lockdown restrictions going on. But anyway, that's by the way. It seems the neighbours obviously got a bit pissed off with it, called the authorities, and they were raided by the police. Anyway, the host of the party, the 21-year-old, she's been fined €3,000 for breaking the lockdown rules. But not only that, she was also found guilty and she was sentenced to 6 months in jail and plus an extra 10 days as well. However, that has been suspended for 3 years, so she's been given a suspended sentence. All the guests also at the party were also fined €300 as well. So there you go. You live and you learn. And watch out, again, the police are very hot in trying to stop people having massive gatherings in their houses. Now, just another little side story as well. France has entered its third lockdown from this weekend as the infections surge. All non-essential retail, schools will close and travel is restricted to 10 kilometres from home there, except for essential reasons. And that lockdown in France is expected to last for 3 weeks. It's going to be interesting to see how that lockdown is going to affect the UK in the way of goods and stuff travelling backwards and forwards across the channel. I know I've got listeners on Beats Radio who are lorry drivers who tune in to me, who live in Calais, but they drive to the UK to work and deliver goods backwards and forwards. So I'm not sure how this lockdown is going to be affecting them. And hopefully I'll have some wording on that as to see how that goes for them. Anyway, and finally, an interesting little story. As you are aware, you are now heading towards your Easter weekend over there in the UK. Our Orthodox Easter is quite away at the moment. And this weekend, Catholics and other Christian religions will be celebrating Easter. Anyway, a lot of people have been asking, what is the difference between the Orthodox Easter and between the Catholic Easter, best way to describe it? And why is there a difference in dates? Why is it not the same? Anyway, the reason for that is because the Orthodox churches still use the Julian calendar for Easter. And so there sometimes that kind of lags behind the Gregorian calendar, which is used by the Catholic Church and, you know, as the normal calendar that people abide by for the days of the week, as it were. However, Mount Athos here in Greece is an exception to that rule, because in Mount Athos, they don't use the Gregorian calendar. They still use their own calendar for their region. And for those people who don't know about Mount Athos up near Halkidiki, we got the three fingers up there. And basically, one of the fingers is a very holy area, which is kind of it's under the protection of Athens, basically, but it's an autonomous region in itself. Women are not allowed there, only men. They have lots of monasteries around that location, and they basically very, very religious, very, very strict sort of orthodoxy is run there of the Greek Orthodox faith, and their calendar doesn't even line up completely with the calendar of Greece. So they kind of do their own thing there. So there's always this little thing about what day of the week it is there in comparison to the rest of Greece. Anyway, it's interesting that the last time that the Catholic Easter and the Greek Easter actually appeared on the same dates was actually, believe it or not, back in 2017 was when both Easters were at the same time. And I do remember, I think, yes, I do. I was thinking of another date then, but yeah, the 2017 was the last time that we had that both Easters actually on the same day. And basically it all links up with the equinox of the year, and a calculation is done 40 days after the equinox. That is when Easter has been set. And interestingly, one of the popes decided it might be an idea, and he put an olive branch out, which was because of Muslim, I'm just thinking of a nice way to say this, because of the way that the Muslims are very united in what they do. Everything with the Muslim faith is all on the same date. They're not like sporadically mixed about in the same way that Christianity is. One of the popes, and I think it could have been Pope Francis, wanted to actually get together with the Greek Orthodox Church, come to an agreement and say, why don't we do Easter on the same date? You do Easter on the same date as us, and we'll do it on the same date as you. So we combine the Easters together as basically a form of togetherness, solidarity, so that we can all get together and basically do the same thing at the same, a bit like Christmas. Christmas is on the same date, but unfortunately that hasn't happened at the moment. And I think if they put Easter on a specific set date, it would certainly make life easier to live in some ways, because you plan around that date. But it hasn't happened as of yet. And the next time that Easter is going to take place on the same date, actually, between us and the Catholic and the Orthodox religion, is in 2025. And if you're wondering when Easter And Easter is actually going to be for this year. It's actually Easter this year is going to be on the 3rd of May, Monday. Sorry, the 2nd of May. It's on Sunday, the 2nd of May. Obviously, Good Friday is going to be. Sorry, hang on a minute. I've lost that. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, Easter this year is on the 2nd of May. Oh, I lost me. I lost me days of the week there. So there you go. That's the difference between the two Easters. Anyway, just want to wish you all just want to wish you all a very, very happy Easter. I hope that you have a nice weekend. We'll just have a normal weekend, to be quite honest. It's a bit weird. We get to have Easter twice, I suppose, in some ways, looking at it. And hopefully, your weather isn't going to be as bad as what they're predicting it's going to be on the UK weather forecast. Right, let's have a quick look and see who's tuning in this morning. Emma Marku is tuning in. Lovely to have you looking in. Heather Nash is looking in as well. Mike Glattonley is also tuning in. Nice to see you. Steve Hinkling says awesome. Oh, bless you, Steve. I don't know what you're saying about. It must be the cut price at Magdalena's studios, probably. Bob Davis is also watching as well. It's Easter holidays. I can stay in bed. That could be the awesome thing then. David Douglas says, morning. It's frosty on the ground where he is. Amanda Gregory is watching as well. She says, good morning, Ginge. More sunshine today, a high of 19 degrees, feels like 21. Enjoy the day. Thank you, my darling. Thank you for your very concise weather forecast. It's greatly appreciated. Gallimera Ginge from a chilly Exmoor. Snow predicted across the country on Monday. Oh my God, you're getting snow. Well, there'll certainly be snowing at the top of Exmoor, that's for sure. Lindsay Lamb is also watching as well. Heather Nash says, morning, you and Jane. Bingham, wish I had your beautiful weather. Looking forward to your show later. Gary's at home today to listen in. Oh, bless you. Once again, just to remind you, don't forget, I'm live broadcasting today, 3 o'clock UK time from Studio One here in Macarado. Thank you for those people who joined me yesterday. I did a little test broadcast yesterday because I'm having some issues with some of the software I'm running. And I think I've managed to get those glitches out. And I can also monitor all the chat areas now a lot easier than what I've been able to do. So thank you for that. And don't forget 3 o'clock. And then don't forget 5 o'clock your time in the UK. I'm broadcasting on beatsradio.co.uk. 2 hours of dance anthems. On Beats Radio from 5 o'clock UK time until 7 o'clock. So get your weekend kicking as you get ready for Easter. Anyway, listen, I'm going to disappear away because I'm getting a lot of... I'm just going to have a quick look and see if anybody's sending me any little comments or messages. Once again, wishing you all a happy Easter. I hope you have a fantastic and safe next few days. Jane and I, it's just a normal weekend for us, although we'll be looking in and seeing how people are getting on. I just want to wish everybody at the nursing home where my mum is at the moment in Cliftonville, and wish you all happy Easter. I'll keep my ear close to the ground, and I'll report you anything that's going on. Anyway, catch you later. Have a good one. Take care.